Okay, so hopefully that's the picture that is on my video. Hi guys, I just wanted to check in. I'm going through a lot and I'm thinking about possibly making videos again because it'll take my mind off the world and what's happening in my life. So, I just got finished watching Shazam on HBO Max. And I want to talk about what I thought about it. I thought it was a really good movie. First off, I could totally relate to the story because, I can't relate fully, but I was in foster care for a year. So knowing that Billy was a foster care child and he just had this desire to meet his mom, that really touched me. So, I thought it was very sweet. The beginning, I was happy to see that a wizard was black. So, yeah, the wizard was black, and he had to go find a champion because he knew that his time was coming to an end. It starts off with him finding a kid, but he said that the kid was not good enough because he had to be selfless, a pure, caring person to possess the powers, and this kid was not. So the kid went through his whole life being picked on by his family and hated by his dad because he tried to tell his father what he experienced. His father called him a liar. They almost missed an car accident. And then they ended up in an accident, and the father's father ended up dead. So he blamed his son for his father's death. So we go towards the future where Billy's a child, and he's just like setting cops up. Sorry, it's been a long day. And they said, okay, well, you ran away from every family that you've been into, so we're going to give you to this family because this family is different. They were fosters themselves, and they have a better understanding. If you can't work with them, you can't work with anyone. The officer was very mean, and she said to him, you have been with countless families that want you, and you keep chasing someone who doesn't. I felt like that was so, who says that to a child? You keep chasing someone who doesn't want you? Very insensitive. So I'm like, dang, Billy's getting a bad rap. He meets this kid who's now like his brother, who's into superheroes, named Freddy, and he meets other kids, but the story is mostly about Freddy, Billy, and when Billy becomes Shazam. So I'm going to stick with them. They go to school together. Billy thinks Freddy is weird. He's like, why do you keep talking to me? Why do you want to be my friend? Like, leave me alone. He's pretty much plotting his escape. They get to school. You know how kids go to school nowadays. Freddy's the weird one. He's getting picked on. And I think Billy's getting picked on by association. And that's when I honestly lost the narrative of the movie for a minute. When I clicked back in, he was getting on a subway. I remember. Look, y'all, I did not want to yawn on camera, so I paused it for a minute. So the kid who was pretty much traumatized as a child by not being chosen by the wizard, he is now a full adult, and he is hearing people say the same experience he had. They are being chosen by this wizard, put to a test. They don't pass the test, or they end up back. But kind of when they come back, they're now crazy. And so he's trying to figure out the key. He finally figures out these 2 codes off of this alarm clock that keeps blinking back and forth. Once he figures that out, he's been writing it on a door. And it was written 7 times, and then it starts glowing. Once it starts glowing, the door actually opens. And the person he's working with, she thinks he's nuts. She's like, why are you having us do this? We're wasting our time. She puts her hand on the door. Her hand starts to disintegrate. Her hand starts to whoosh, disintegrate. So he's like, oh, I've got something here. He opens the door. He walks through. He meets the wizard and says, you remember me? You told me I wasn't special. You told me I wasn't chosen. I'm back now. I figured it out. And then the 7 deadly sins, they wake up and they say, you've had all this time to choose. You haven't. Well, we have. And they all swarm him and basically inhabit his body. So he decides to let them inhabit his body. The wizard is now kind of powerless. He kind of throws the wizard, and the wizard is like, I'm running out of time. Now this person is inhabited by the 7 deadly sins. I've got to find someone, and find someone fast. I'm going to skip around because I forget a little bit. Billy ends up on the subway. When Billy's on the subway, don't mind my cat, she's eating. When Billy when Billy ends up on the subway, it goes dark, We know something is about to happen because Billy is like, what's going on? I'm just getting on a stop. The portal opens and he ends up where the wizard is. The wizard says, look, you're the chosen one. You're pure at heart. You're caring. You're this, you're that. I need you to go and stop this guy. And Billy's like, you got it wrong. What the heck are you talking about? It was one thing I appreciate about this movie, because I'm not really a superhero person, had a lot of comedy. So part of the comedy is like, he's like, grab my staff and yell my name. And Billy's like, huh? And he's like, grab my staff and yell my name. You get what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm not grabbing your staff and yelling your name. He's like, look, I don't have a lot of time. Okay? See these chairs in front of you? They used to be my brothers and sisters. All of their power is possessing me. And if you don't grab my staff and yell my name, then I won't be able to fulfill what I'm supposed to fulfill. So finally, Billy puts his hand on it and he said, yell my name. I can't believe I'm reenacting this. And he's like, Shazam! And then when the Shazam happens, the guy's power goes into Billy. And now Billy is in a superhero costume and he's like 25 years older. I'm trying to guess about how old he was. He's like, yo, dude, what happened? He's like, now you possess my power. The power of all the gods. The Zeus, the lightning, what else? All of the gods. Y'all know. You know you're Greek. I don't. and then the guy starts to crumble away. So now Billy is like, what am I going to do, because I don't look like myself. He wanted to get out of there, so he teleported himself back to the subway. He gets off the subway. He's freaking out. He goes home, but he doesn't look like himself. He convinces Freddy that it's really him, and then Freddy starts training him. Like, let's see what you can do. What are your powers? This is so cool. Oh my God, you know. Of course, there has to be some inner conflict. So Freddy starts getting a little too happy with power as far as training Shazam and training Billy. So he starts saying, oh yeah, he's my friend. That superhero's really my friend. All this time, they're uploading little clips of his powers on YouTube, trying to get a following. This is what Freddy's doing. And so now they're blowing up on YouTube. They don't even say if they make money from it. They're just going viral. And he's like, yeah, that guy's my friend. You know what? He's going to come tomorrow. We're going to eat lunch. And then Billy gets mad. So I thought you said not to let people know. Why would you say that to people? It seems like you're only wanting to hide my powers unless you can benefit. So they get in a little riff. All the while, Billy is still trying to find his mother. So he doesn't want to accept that this is his family now. He's like, y'all aren't my family. I've been alone. I'm staying alone. So he ends up going on the streets and basically panhandling for money, doing little talents for money. But again, he's blowing up online. So this is attracting that guy who is now possessed with the demons. He's like, oh, I need to find this guy. He shows up, and Billy's overly confident. He's like, you can't do anything to me because I have these powers. Well, he finds out the guy has powers, and when magic and magic come together, they have the same energy. So his power is going to hurt Billy. So now Billy's freaking out, and he's scared because he's still a little boy. You know, he's still a little boy. And he has that boy mindset. So now he's like in hiding. And then his family back home, he's like getting yelled at because he's skipping school to go, you know, beg for money as a superhero. He is getting into fights. So they're now like looking at him as the problem child, which shows a little human side of what can happen when you're in foster care. And people feel like giving you a home is enough. But they're not really nurturing the emotional side of you. They're not really understanding what it feels like. Like, we're giving you this happy home. We're giving you siblings. Why aren't you happy? They're not really learning Billy. Wow, I just got that off the whim. So anyway, they tell the kids to leave him alone. Mind you, the little sister they have, she knew that he was a superhero. And she was waiting for her other siblings to catch on. So only her and Freddy know that Billy's a superhero. So they're looking and they're realizing they're looking at the news footage of Freddy and the superhero Shazam fighting. And they're like, you remember when they were fighting the other night? They look just like this. They're like, finally, you guys understand. I've been holding this secret. They go and tell Billy, we know where your mother is. She's not too far from here. So he goes and runs to her. That was a sad scene. But I mean, understandable but sad. But I think it's the closure that he needed so that he could realize these people are your family. But by then it's kind of too late because the demon guy, I don't know his name. The guy with all the possessed by all the deadly sins. he has found out that he's realized that Shazam and Billy is the same person. He's gotten Freddy to go to their house. He told Freddy, if you don't tell him, I'm going to find out where Billy lives because you're going to show me. So he's held Freddy hostage. Somehow he ends up at the house and the parents have gone out looking for Billy. So their parents are not home. He ends up with all the siblings. And Billy ends up coming to the house. He's unleashed the demons, trying to scare them and trying to lure Shazam, aka Billy, into the house. He wants Billy to give him all their powers. And Billy was going to do it. This is what it gets, really good. They ended up going through the door portal. Now they're back into the lair. Kids decided they were going to come with Billy, even though he told them to stay there. So they come and they throw something at him, but it doesn't affect the guy because they're mortal. But when Billy, aka Shazam, throws it, it does affect him. But then it heals quickly. Not as quickly. So they run off. He had to think of somewhere else to go. So he thought really hard and they teleported elsewhere. To a strip club, honestly. And then Billy and the kids end up at a carnival. And that's when things get really interesting. The guy possessed by the 7 deadly sins unleashes the deadly sins, all except for one. And they wreaking havoc on the carnival. And then Billy realizes something that the wizard said was, I have the strength of all of my brothers and sisters, all of the other wizards. And he realized that there was enough wizards, or I think 7 wizards, I don't know the number, but enough wizards that his siblings make up their other powers. So he's getting beat by the guy, so he decides to say, he does it again. He takes the staff. Oh, wait, no, where's my staff? Takes the staff, and he says, come on, everybody, put your hands on the staff. And they're like, what? Put your hands on my staff. And say my name. And when they say his name, they now have the superpowers that was all within him. Now each power has gone to one of them, and now it's a team of superheroes. And they're able to defeat the sins better because there's more of them with strength and power. So Billy and the demon guy, they realize that each time a 7 deadly sin person comes out, he gets the man gets weaker and weaker. So their goal is to call them all out so that he's weak and they can defeat him. So that's what they do. Billy and the carrier of spirits, I'm just coming up with all kinds of names for him, huh? They start flying. And then he's like, all of these different sins came out, but there's still one left. How come they don't need him? How come he gets left behind? Is it because he's not that good? Is it because he's tiny? He knows he needs to call the demon out. So far, I don't really know the deadly sins, but it was lust, gluttony, those are the only ones I know, y'all. Lust, gluttony, envy. I got 3. One that's one that started with a W. Y'all, look. 7 deadly sins, okay? Anyway, greed, money. Money's the root of all evil. Wrath, that's the one I was thinking of. Wrath. So, envy, gluttony, lust, greed, wrath, and 2 more. I don't know what they are. We got 5 out of 7, y'all. Bear with me. I need to go read the Bible. So, when he called him out, the guy was just immortal again. He started falling. And, of course, he's a good guy, so Shazam saved him. Pulled the ball that was encapsulating the deadly sins out of his eye. And then went back to capture all of the sins. And that was amazing. And then that was the way they switched the frame. I wasn't sure that envy was captured. And I was just so scared he was going to come back. Okay, but he didn't. And they captured him. And then they're all heroes. And you know how stories end. They're just excited. They're like, they put them all back, and then they say, you know what this means? We have a lair. And then they go back to regular life. And it ended very well. And now he has a family, and it was just so beautiful. Definitely not what I expected in a movie. This is from a person that barely watches superhero movies. I like the background story of him being a foster kid and everything. So it was a great distraction. And I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my Ghetto Bougie staff review of Shazam. It's available on HBO Max. That's where I saw it. Feel free to watch it if you haven't already. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to send me a little coin, I will put my Cash App in the bio. Thank you so much. Or the description. Is that what they call it? The description. Hopefully I can do some more Ghetto Bougie reviews. I like Ghetto Bougie reviews. That's probably not going to be the name, but that's the name right now. Maybe, I don't know, if you want to leave some movies, no scary movies. I'm a scared person. Please don't put any scary movies. Or if you want to leave some in the comments that you would like to hear my Bougie review of, let me know. Thank you. Thank you so much.